A very good evening to one and all. Dr. Rahul, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Thank you, thank you. So let us begin today's program. So today we are here to have the introduction to Brihat Saptaha, a program by Pradigna. So we'll get into it at the earliest. So I just want to inform all the participants that this is actually our 14th program. Cosmetology was our first one. Kerala Panchakarma was our second program. Agni Karma was a third. We had Uttaravasti program, another program on cosmetology. We had a unique program called Ashana, which was on diagnostic techniques. We had one on Vasti Karma. Subalyam was another program which dealt with the Kaumarabhritya of Ayurveda. Ritu Samiksha was the gynecological and obstetric part of Ayurveda. Sparsha was on dermatology. Rudhiram was on Rakta Mokshana. Kerala Panchakarma again. This was a second batch that we had done. This was a cosmetology course which is going ongoing. Actually, this is the second batch. We are going to start it tomorrow. And these are the feedbacks of the supporters and participants of our program. So we thank all the participants for giving us a positive review and helping us in spreading the word. So we come to Brihat Saptaha. So Brihat Saptaha is something which was done because of the teachers, of course, and it was an inspiration by the teachers from especially Dr. Gauri Shankar sir, who had given us the idea about this program. So so we'll be right now today. What we are going to have is we'll be having the teachers talk to us, introduce the topics they are going to take, and how the students will be benefited from attending this program. So the first person I would like to call is, of course, Dr. Gauri Shankar sir. Before I hand it over to him, let me give a small introduction of Dr. Gauri Shankar. Dr. P. Gauri Shankar, Professor and HOD, Department of Kaya Chikitsa, Vaidyaratnam Ayurveda College, Ullur, done his BMS from Madras University, MD from University of Mysore, and PhD scholar at SSUS, Kaladi. With a teaching experience of over 27 years, he is a research person for Ayush, Department of Government of India and Government of Kerala. Currently the member of Board of Studies, Ayurveda PG Clinical, KUHAS, and Board of Examiners, Ayurveda PG, RGHS. Invited speaker of Department of Life Sciences, University of Hyderabad. Green Channel Doctor for website www.ayurvedaswadhyayam.com, and All India Secretary of Vagbata Sarani. Participated in around 26 in service courses and seminars, 7 international seminars, and 12 workshops on so far. He was the invitee and resource person for 28 national and international seminars. He has guided many PG dissertations and also published many articles and research work. Also a very a good well-wisher of ours. So over to you, Gauri Shankar sir, for the introduction of the topic.
So namaste to all, especially our Khandel sir and Dharmaga Adhikari sir, and so many great persons are there in front of me in this program. Now, let me tell the background. Let me express the background by which we have come up to this. We have about thought of this process of this Saptaha. Saptaha means just 7 days. Within 7 days, how can we know what is there in this text like Ashtanga Hridaya, Sushruta Samhita, and Charan Samhita? It is not at all possible. But the only thing is, when we learn this science, and this is, of course, this Saptaha is meant mainly for the person, those who are almost completed their BMS Ayurvedic course, not for a beginner. So a beginner will not get any benefit out of this. That is what I feel. And the 7 days means 7 dhatus. You will be knowing that each dhatu is getting digested, and the anarasa will go to the next dhatu. Like that, one reference is there. So, like that, in 7 days, we are trying to express the important points from each samhidas. Brihatrayis, it is otherwise named as Brihatrayis. Of course, there is a controversy behind this Ashtanga Hridaya and Sangraha. What are the Behatris? It may be Ashtanga Sangraha and Sushra Samhita and Chara Samhita may be the first Samhita to come over for the Ayurveda. Maybe Charaka Samhita. Even then, we have arranged first as Ashtanga Hridaya because almost all the things available in Sangraha is there in Ashtanga Hridaya also with some mode of explanation may be different. And coming to the next one, Sushruta Samhita. Again, another one, another great text. Of course, we may think that, or some of the Ayurvedic people, dignitaries may say that it is a text for surgeons or maybe Dhanyandiriyanam Avakasha. It is not like that. We will get so many things for a practitioner, maybe a Shalya person, maybe a Prasudi person, maybe a Kajikilsa person, maybe a Kaumaraprati person. All persons will be getting benefited out of this Brihatrayas. Need not be one text. So keeping these things in mind, we have planned the each text will have a class for 7 days. And first, we are taking Ashtanga Hridaya. In that 7 days, 7 persons will be talking, important persons from all over India will be taking classes, and their topics are also published. Most of you might have seen in this brochure, it seems. And second one is Sushruta Samhita, third is Charaka Samhita. Here, we have planned our classes or the explanations regarding each point will be for 1 hour from 6 to 7 p.m. in the evening. Every day it will be happening in the evening 6 to 8 p.m. So 6 to 7 we will be having a presentation. The gurus will be presenting the ideas or the most important part of the text to you, and after 1 hour we will have discussions. Discussions are, or in other words, Charaka Samhita says that very clearly says that Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad Buddhivardhananam. If a person wants more knowledge about the subject or Ayurveda, we should have a Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad. Need not be just a conversation. We can oppose whatever we say. We can contradict it. Everything is possible. Everything. This is a platform for persons, those who are having their own ideas. You see, in 100 years back or 50 years back, there was no concept of this, what I should say, this medicines, latest development medicines, etc. in this way. Even then, those days also, Ayurveda was having its own importance. Ayurveda deals with the principles and all those things. And that after consultation with the, or after discussions with the great persons, and we have come to a conclusion that this may be this thing like that. We will have a slight change of our vision on these subjects of Ayurveda. That is one thing. You see, now COVID. This is a new disease for Ayurveda, for this fraternity. Even for modern medicine people, they are also feeling that this is a new one. Anyway, we have managed the COVID patients pre, during, and post-COVID cases we are dealing just because of we could do the discussions. We could do the Tadvidya Sambhasha, and we will get a conclusion, and we have come with a concrete idea. We have come out and we are treating it now. Just like that. This is the importance of discussions. So 1 hour there will be deliberations, and another 1 hour will be having a discussions. Of course, we are planning in different ways of discussions, giving some points earlier as much as possible. In all cases, it may not be possible. In all cases, it may not be possible. So we are planning like that. So each day we will be giving an important poem from each text, and that poem will be delivered first for 1 hour. Then we will have a and of course the topic need not be only that words or something like that. It will be related, all those things, principles, everything related to that topic. That will be deliberated and that will be discussed elaborately. Even after that also, don't think that this is available for only for 1 hour or 2 hours. Later or before that also, no problem at all. We have constituted a WhatsApp group in that we can have so many discussions, anything, any questions, any answers, any suggestions, any queries, anything can be there in that WhatsApp group. So that what our idea is, Buddhi Vardhanana, our knowledge in the field of Ayurveda should come out. Now the time has come. Now you see everywhere, of course, West and East, they are looking for Ayurveda. What has told in this context of COVID or something like that, as far as Ayurveda is concerned. You might have heard that there are some controversies, there are cases in court regarding whether Ayurveda will do it or do not do it. What I am saying is, if we have a strong theory as well as a practical approach towards the principles of Ayurveda, we can conquer this world, or our science will become the national health stream. We can come take this Ayurveda to the national stream of health science. So with these words, with this introduction to these words, we will move on our each subject. Of course, from Ashtanga Hridaya and Sushruta Samhita, I think the topics will be introduced by Dr. Mohan, Shyam Mohan, it seems. Otherwise, I will do it, no problem. Let me explain some of the points we have going to take in this Brihat Saptaha from Charaka Samhita. The first topic is, you may be knowing that we have taken very important points from different areas, from Sutrasthana, Tasya, Chadurvidha Pariksha, like that, so many things. And of course, let me take the list of the topics. Just 1 minute. It is ready now. First day, the list is given. First day is Rogamarga in treatment level. Dr. Kiradamurthy happened to be his birthday today. He will be coming over in this platform also. It seems his send-off party is going on. He may be coming a little bit later. And second day, applied aspects of Ayushkamiyam. Third day, that is on 9. It is Saptavidha Lekhana in treatment aspects. And 10th will be fourth day, that is Shodhanabhigana Sangraha by Dr. Ramanohar. And the fifth day is for Vegadharana in disease. And the sixth day, Viruthahara. And the seventh day, that is on 30th Sunday, it will be Ojas and mental disorders. Dr. Krishna Nambudiri from Chief Physician of Nagarjuna. And the second Saptaha, this is termed as Brihat Saptaha. Second Saptaha is from Sushruta Samhita. First day, it is Hallmarks of Sushruta Samhita by Dr. Arhant Kumar. Yes, of course. And second day, it will be salient features of Nibandha Sangraha. And the third day, it is Sushruta Sushruda's views on doshas, including Rekta. And fourth day, concept of disease in Sushruda. And fifth day, it is pharmacodynamics principles of Sushruta Samhita. And sixth day, food properties and usages according to Sushruta Samhita. And seventh day, it is direct formulations of Sushruta. These are the second Saptaha. And third Saptaha is from Charaka Samhita. First day, we have given some quotations from Charaka Samhita. That the first class on Monday, 21st June, it will be Pariksha Karino Hi Kushala Bhavanti. It is by Vaidya Anand Bhagavan Dharmadhigari. And the second day, it will be Tasya Chadurvitha Pariksha. Aptopadeshaha Pratyaksham Animanam Yuktishedi. That is by Dr. Ram Manohar. And third day, it will be Yogo Vaidya Gunana. This will be dealt with Dr. Srinivasa Hejmadhi Acharya, who is the emeritus professor in All India Institute of Ayurveda. And fourth day, Soyam Ayurvedo Shashwado Nirdishyade. Of course, that will be done by I myself will be doing it. And fifth day, it is from Indriyasthana. Most of the practitioners may not be having more concentration on this area, but it will be done here. Will dealt very well. The practical aspects will be dealt here. The architecture of Charakas Indriyasthana by Dr. Srikant Babu. Of course, Dr. Srikant Babu sir is also here in this platform. And the another one is another important one. Vina Tarkena Ya Siddhihi Edricha Siddhirevasa. It is that class will be done by Dr. Sri Krishna Sharmaji. Sir is here. He is already here. And of course, the seventh day, it will be Sadatura, which has been mentioned in 11th chapter of Siddhisthana. That is by Dr. P.K. Viyanand. These are the topics in short, but that doesn't mean that only that topic will be dealt there, but these are related principles, its applications, how we have to understand these things. All these things will be dealt in this program. With these words, let me hope that this Brihat Saptaha will give some light to the practitioners as well as the upcoming doctors for their practice and their knowledge. Namaste, and namaste to Acharyas like Krishna sir, Khandel sir is there, Vasudevan Namburi sir is there. So namaste to all of you, the gurus. Namaste, namaste.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for a wonderful introduction. As sir said, it was an Herculean task for us, to gather together 17 of the greatest masters of our times of Ayurveda and to come up with a program like this. So it has taken a lot of time and effort from all the teachers, especially Gauri Shankar sir, Kiradamurthy sir, and etc., who have helped us put together this team. So before we move on any further, let me offer my pranams to all the gurus who have agreed to share their knowledge. Just want to tell you that Dr. Rahul is posting a link to WhatsApp chat in the chat box, WhatsApp link in the chat box, which you can click and join a WhatsApp group where all the details, the brochures, all the details of this program will come so that you can make an informed decision later on. So let me move on to the next teacher. So before I move on to Dr. Vaidya Anand Dharmadhigari, let me give you a small introduction of Dr. Anand. Vaidya Anand Bhagavan Dharmadhigari, currently Emeritus Professor at BDST Ayurveda College, Wagholi, and founder, president of Anand Ayurveda Pradishtan, Pune, done his DSAC from Mumbai, AVP Kai Chikitsa from Jamnagar, and PhD in Kai Chikitsa from Pune University. Total 131 Charaka Samhita Nirupan were carried out all over India. Books have been published: Charaka Shruti Prakash in English and Charaka Uhana in Marathi. 8 national articles have been published and have been postgraduate guide for many MD and PhD students. He has been awarded by Charaka Puraskar, Dronacharya Award, Jeevan Gaurav Puraskar, Uttam Granth Puraskar, and also Lifetime Achievement Award for 4 times. So over to Dr. Anand Dharmadhikari to introduce this topic. Welcome, sir, to the Pradigna. Over to you, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Now you're audible, sir. Over to
Audible?
you, sir.
Okay, okay.
Now you're audible, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Good evening to everybody. Namaskar. My subject is Parikshakarino hi Kushala Bhavante. I'll be dealing with some few important points regarding this subject. Text Charak Sanhita, 20th chapter and 20th shloka. It says, Rogamadau Pariksheta. Tato Anantaram Aushadam. Tatak Karma Vishak Paschat Jnanapurvam Samacharet. The meaning of this verse is, first, you examine the disease, diagnose the disease. Then, accordingly, diagnose the medicine, line of treatment. And then you start your treatment. Here, what the text means is I am going to explain. But before that, the text says, the person who diagnoses the disease first and then starts his treatment gets success. And one who do not diagnose the disease and start the treatment, he may get success, may not get the success. Yadruchaya. Or jo, one person who diagnoses the disease very well and uses the medicine with Deshakala Jnana, his success, expected success is sure. So, I'm going to deal what does the text mean by Rogam Adau Pariksheta. Then, what does the text means? Anantaram Aushadam Pariksheta. And then, accordingly, how to select the karmas. These 3 points I'm going to deal it. In Rogam Adau Pariksheta, what do we mean? We means Ayurvedic physician mean by Rogadnyanam. A name of the disease is not the Rogadnyanam. Rogadnyanam means Hetudnyanam. Rogadnyanam means Doshadnyanam. Doshadnyanam means Anshansha Kalpanadnyanam. Doshadnyanam means Samsarga Sannipatadnyanam. Doshadnyanam means Swatantra Paratantra Dosha Prakopaha. And then Samprapti Vijnanam. But I'm not going to deal every point. First, I'll be dealing with how to pariksha, how to do the pariksha of hetus. Then how to do the pariksha of dosha, how to diagnose the dosha. And then third, most important, how to pariksha the Agni pariksha, do the Agni pariksha. On these 3 points, I'll be dealing, and if time permits, then I'll be proceeding further points which are required for the diagnosis of the disease. I hope this much is enough. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That is more than enough, sir. Thank you, sir, for introducing the topic. We will be going on to the next, sir. We have next Dr. Muralidhar Sharma joining us from Udupi. So before I hand it over to him, I have to introduce him. I just want to tell you who have just come in. There's a link to the WhatsApp chat in the box, in the chat box. You can click and join a WhatsApp group where all the details will be coming. Even this video will be posted there later on so that you can make an informed decision. So before I hand it over to Dr. Muralidhar Sharma, let me just give you a small introduction of sir. Professor Emeritus, Department of Shalya Tantra, SDM College of Ayurveda, Udupi, a surgeon well known for his simplicity, punctuality, determination, and dedication. The man of Ayurveda excellence completed his UG from SDMCA Udupi and his MD from BHU Varanasi. He started his academic career as a lecturer at SDMCA Udupi, Department of Shalyatantra in 1983. He rendered his services as medical superintendent of SDM Ayurveda Hospital from 2014. He retired from service in 2018. Since then, he is a professor emeritus of SDMCA Udupi. He brought about a clinical identity as an Ayurvedic clinician with a modern outlook. He has more than 15 publications in national and international journals in his credit. He has delivered lectures as resource person for numerous workshops, conferences, and CMEs, national and international. Awardee of National Shushruta Award and Best Teacher Award by RGHS. Over to you, Muralidhar sir, for your introduction. Yes, sir.
I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, sir. You are, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Now, I'm supposed to talk about the formulations in Sushruta Samhita. Of course, as everyone knows, Sushruta is meant for surgery and surgical training, and main field also is about the same practice of surgery. But beyond that, Sushruta has described about certain of the issues, and if you consider the evolution of practice of Ayurveda, there is a very interesting issue. In the historically, Ayurveda starts from the same point like Rogamadav Pariksheta, it has to be the examination of the disease, and then Tadanantaram Aushadam. The Aushadas had to be prepared after the patient is seen, and it will be based upon Dosham, Dusham, Prakritim, Manalam, Vayaha, so on, the Dashavidha Pariksha. Based upon that, a custom-made medicines had to be prepared. This is how it was practiced in the earlier days, olden days. But gradually, as the Ayurvedic practice became more popular, from evolution from one Samhita to other Samhita, Charaka Samhita has a few of the yogas where the medicine could be kept ready, and then it will be suiting large number of patients, and hence the formulations or the yogas were formed. And the techniques of preparation of the yogas, starting from Kalka, Churna, and so on, this also had developed from Charaka Samhita as such. But in Charaka Samhita, you see most of the drugs described in the form of ganas, groups of drugs which have some properties, so that a physician would have a choice to select a few of those, or maybe all of them, depending upon the availability of the drug or seasonal variations, geographical variations. You may select a few of the drugs and prepare according to the need of the patient. But later on, as you need to see more patients, you are maybe with the convenience, there was a need to keep the drugs prepared, and that's how the yogas have developed. Compared to Charaka Samhita, number of yogas in Sushruta Samhita are more. And of course, in Ashtanga, the number has increased. And then you have the later in the evolution, Sharmadara Samhita, where and Yoga Ratnakara and so on, where it's all about the combination of the yogas. Now, during this evolution of the yogas, there is a basic idea of level of improvement and technologies being adopted. And from that point of view, Sushruta Samhita has many extraordinary new techniques which are added to, and the evolution of these yogas are presented as such. I will try to deal with those areas of the selection of modification of the yogas, and how the yogas would be evolved based upon the need as such. That's the point which I will be dealing with. I think that's what I am supposed to do. Right.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for the introduction. So we'll move on. We have next Dr. Vasudevan Namburi sir with us. So before I hand it over to him, just a small introduction of Dr. M.R. Vasudevan Namburi. He is currently working as a director of Raha Ayurveda Hospital, Kochi, faculty at Hastyad Ayurveda Visharda, TDU Bangalore, PhD guide Amartha Vishwavidyapeetham. He has completed a BMS from Kottakkal Ayurveda College with first class and first rank. MD from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum. Started his career as tutor at Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum. Later became principal of same. He was director of Ayurveda Medical Education, was state program manager of NRHM for 2 years. After retirement, he became principal of Amartha School of Ayurveda, executive committee member of CCIM New Delhi, was member of Finance Standing Committee, Scientific Advisory Board, and member of governing body CCRAS, New Delhi. Published books, Principles and Practice of Vasti, Dhara, Tuvaraga, Rasayana, and Psoriasis. Association of L-DOPA with recovery following Ayurveda medication in Parkinson's disease. Journal of Neurological Sciences. Attended as resource person in many international and national seminars, CMEs, and workshops. So over to Dr. Vasudevan Namburi sir for his introduction. Over to you, sir. Sir, please unmute. No, sir. Please unmute, sir.
Am
Yes,
I
sir.
audible now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shyam Mohan. Welcome to everybody. Good evening to everybody. My topic is explaining some slokas of Ayush Kamiyam. You may be knowing that in our Shastra, everything is explained in a coded form or Sutra Rupa. Ashtanga Hridaya is also not different from that, especially in regarding Sutrasthana. Sutrasthana is Vagbhada. Hence, you know, the Sutrasthana of Vagbhada is very famous because it is the best among the other Sutrasanas. Here I can explain you one of the slokas. For example, Chanadir Vyathyavastaja Kalo Peshaja Yoga. One line of sloka is there in Ashtanga Hridaya Sutrasana Aishkamiyatya. What is the practical implication of this sloka, this line? Let us think about that. For example, in Jwara Chikitsa, Kashaya Pana Pathyanayir Deshaha is this Deshaha is actually Chanadikala. But next, like Kaphe Mande Matavittotere, that is Vyatyavastha. You see, actually, we have to decode everything for getting the exact knowledge or elaborate knowledge. That is what I am trying to do in this class for 1 hour. In the same thing can be seen in the Prakarana of Vasti Vithi also. When we administer Vasti, Mathyane Kinchidavarte, that is again Chanadikala. Then Nati Puputchita, another Lakshana is there, which is which can be considered as Vyatyavastakara. Likewise, you know, each and every sloka can be explained according to its practical utility, and its applied aspect can be well elaborated, which will be very informative to the students and Ayurvedic community. That is what I want to do in this class. I know that all the slokas cannot be covered within one sloka, but 1 hour. But I will try to incorporate many slokas, even though we may not be able to complete the whole Ayushkami Adhyaya. Anyway, I am very happy to be associated with this organization for delivering the class. Thank you, everybody. Definitely, I believe that this will be informative to the whole Ayurvedic community. Once again, thanking you all.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. So next we'll be having our Ram Manohar sir. Before I hand it over, just want to mention once again, there is a link to a WhatsApp group in the chat, which Dr. Rahul has posted. You can click on the link and join a WhatsApp group where all the details of this program, like brochures and everything, will be coming. So next we have Dr. Ram Manohar. So before I hand it over, just a small introduction of him. Dr. P. Ram Manohar is the research director of Amrita School of Ayurveda. Completed his BMS from Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore, and MD degree from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences, Bangalore. He was honored with the Ayurveda Marga Pravartaka Award in 2014 and Vaidya Sundarlal Joshi Smriti Shodha Puraskara in 2015. In 2016, he was awarded Bharadwaja Puraskaram, and in 2017, he was honored with Dr. C. Dwaraganath Memorial Award for his contributions to Ayurveda. His publications include research papers in indexed journals and chapters in books. He has made research visits to United States, United Kingdom, Canada, Argentina, Brazil, Germany, France, Netherlands, Italy, Austria, Latvia, Russia, Denmark, Belgium, Singapore, Switzerland, Thailand, and Sri Lanka for the promotion of Ayurveda. So over to Dr. Ram Manohar for introducing his topic. Over to you, sir.
Namaste. Thank you. I'm very happy to be part of this Brihat Saptaha initiative. And I remember a verse created by Dwivedi sir, which I would like to just recite before explaining the topics. Nadhito charako yena sushrutam napi sushruta hridayam hridaye nasti na vaidya satu taskara. So as Ayurvedic physicians, if we don't have acquaintance with these three great texts, you know, we are like imposters, not real physicians. So it's a great initiative to continue the engagement with the classical Ayurvedic texts. I have been asked to deal with two topics, one in the Hridaya Saptaham, which is a Shodhanadigana Sangraha, which is a very important chapter because this is not just the, of course, this is inspired by Sushruta. This is not just listing some Ayurvedic formulations, but it is actually giving the template for how to create formulations targeting the dosha vikalpas. Because in the previous chapters it has been mentioned, samsargad rasarudhira devis tadesham doshascha kshaya samrata vivruddhi bhedai anandyam taradama yogadascha yadan janiyad avahita manaso yathaso. So when the doshas and dushyas create all the permutations and combinations, the medicines have to be, formulated accordingly. And that dosha based vikalpa, according to the sthana, that is what we see. Vatahara, then Pittahara, then Kabhara, then Vada Pittahara, like Vidaryadi. So I will try to explain how we can, get insights from Shodhanadigana, this chapter, to understand what is the basis of Ayurvedic formulation, how we dynamically change it. And this is also indicated at the end of the chapter, Ete Varga Dosha Dushyadhyapekshya Kalka Kvadha Sneha Lehadi Yukta Pane Nasya Envasane Andar Bahirva Lebabhyangair Gnandi Rogan Sukrichran. So that is the scope, that you can create new formulations if you clearly understand. So this Ayurvedic concept of developing a formulation based on the clear nidana, that is what I will try to explain through this chapter. And in the Charaka Saptaha, I have been asked to deal with the topic Tasya Chaturvidha Pariksha. This is from the very amazing chapter called Tissesraniyam in Sutrasthanam, and where there is the debate on Punarbhava. And in this context, Charaka says, Duridhameva khalu sarvam satcha asatcha. So this is actually truth finding. Anything in the world, if we want to understand the truth of that matter, so we have 4 methods of investigation. So this shows that Ayurveda is a sound, systematic approach to knowledge building. So it is not just, Charaka is introducing these 4 methods, not just for treatment, not to speak of treatment. Anything in the world, if you want to know whether what is Sat and Asat, then these 4 parikshas are there. Aptopadesha, Pratyaksham, Anumanam, and Yukti. And I will try to explain also how this can be used clinically. Because through Aptopadesha, Pratyaksha, and Anumana are very important in diagnosis. But when it comes to Yukti, it is more useful in treatment. So we will try to understand how a combination of these 4 pramanas help us to arrive at proper diagnosis and also a proper treatment plan. So I really look forward to participating in this event, and I think it's a very great initiative, making all Ayurveda clinicians and students, engage more with the Brihat Rais. So thank you very much, and namaste.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you. Yes, we will be allowing, we will be having some questions after the presentation is over. We don't want any disturbance. That's why we have just stopped it. But after the presentations of all the teachers, we will be opening up the chat, and you can ask your questions thereafter. We will try to answer as much as we can. So we have next one of the senior faculties in our groups, Kandel sir. So before I hand it over to him, let me give a small introduction. Sri Krishna Sharma Kandel, retired as professor from National Institute of Ayurveda, Jaipur, completed his Ayurveda Acharya MD Ayurveda, Kai Chikitsa, and PhD in University of Rajasthan. He has been honored with Best Teacher for Clinical Practice by CCRAS in 2019, GEM Fellow of National Academy of Ayurveda in 2019, Dhanvantari Award in 2019, Vaidyanaraj Datar Shastri Memorial Award in 2018, and Best Teacher Award by All India Institute of Ayurveda in 2018. He is the author of 14 books and monographs. He is CEO and Chief Consulting Physician at Arogya Lakshmi Clinic, Jaipur. So over to you, sir, for your introduction. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Shyam. I am very grateful to my learned friend Gauri Shankarji and Rahul for giving me the chance in this auspicious occasion. I have given the subject Tasmat Satyapi Nirdese, कुर्यात् उह्यं स्वयं धिया विना तर्केण या सिद्धि यदृच्छा सिद्धिरेव च. This is the concluding statement in the last section of the Charak Samhita, that is Siddhi Sthan. Second, 28th slok. Charak has mentioned many guidelines in previous 111 chapters, but he is strongly recommending the guidelines are made at that time that has passed so millennia. So now when we see our patient today, many things are may not be applicable or many things are applicable. So that is the difference of the intelligence and wisdom. That is the difference of the jnana and vigyan. Jnana is a nishchay and vijnana vyavasayana. When we are applying anything in practically, then we have to rethink for the contraindications and indications with today's patient, who is quite different with the patient of Charak or patient of Agnivesh. So every time there is a scope of continuous logical thinking, logical interpretation, and desam, dushyam, balam, kalam, prakritim, manalam, vaya. There are 10 factors where we have to examine a patient first, then disease first, then we have to examine the aushad or drug, choose the drug, and what concept will be applied here, that is also very important. And many of the diseases where Panchkarma is contraindicated and Basti is indicated as half treatment of all the diseases. So these are the contraindications are there. So in this particular lecture, I will conclude that yes, yena kena taror moolam yasmai kasmai pradatavyam yadva tadva bhavishyati. This is not a science actually. Science is made by Charak, not based on the inference or assumptions. This is directly we ascended from the Brahma, the superior, supreme source of the knowledge. So even then, they have conducted many of the sambhasa, Tadvidya sambhasa of that time, learned rishis, who are the seers, and that is based on the practical implication of the Siddhanta. So I will try my best to explain what is the indications and where something are contraindicated and where the logic should be applied before the selection of the drug or selection of the diagnosing a patient or diagnosing a person. This is the true sense of this topic, and I will try my best. Thank you very much for all the organizers for conducting this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So next we have Dr. Vaidya Prasad. Before I hand it over to him, just let me tell you, Dr. Rahul is posting a link to a WhatsApp chat group in the chat box, which you can click and join a WhatsApp group where all the details of this class, this course will be posted. The brochures, all the details will be posted, and even this video, if you have been late to, if you have just arrived, you'll be able to go back and listen to this video to the teachers what they say and make an informed decision. So before I hand it over to Dr. Vaidya M. Prasad, let me give you a small introduction. Vaidya M. Prasad is a native of Central District of Thrissur, Kerala. After his BMS in 1996 from Vaidyaratnam Ayurveda College, Ullur, Thrissur, and post-graduation 2002 in Shalakya Tantra from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum, he started working as a specialist in Siddharam Ayurveda Specialty Hospital, Thrissur for 4 years. And later, in 2006, along with his wife, Vaidya Sheniya Varma, established their own Ayurveda ashram and a research center named Tsunetri in their home district, Thrissur. He has 25 years of clinical and 17 years of teaching experience. Vaidya Prasad served as the principal and superintendent of Ashtangam Ayurveda Chikitsalayam and Vidyapeetham for 5 years. Parallel to the regular classes in an Ayurvedic college during early 19s, he learned the principles and practice of Ayurveda under the legendary Acharya Padma Bhushan Vaidya Bhushanam K. Raghavat Tirumuppad, which he continued for 21 years and got trained in clinical Ayurveda under Padma Shri Dr. K. Rajagopalan. He loves to explore the possibilities of informal Ayurvedic learning and teaching and is engaged regularly in conducting learning programs called Samikshas. This year, he is appointed as Guru for CRAV program by Rashtriya Ayurveda Vidyapeeth, New Delhi. So over to Vaidya Prasad for the introduction. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Shyam, and a very good evening to all the acharyas, dignitaries, and delegates in this meeting. First of all, I would like to congratulate the team behind this Brihat Saptaha, which intends to propagate the basic principles of Ayurveda based on the major 3 works. And I think learning Siddhanta often is a last priority in our maybe BAMS classes, or especially after starting clinical practice. I think that is considered as something which is not required. But now I think in the present context, learning Siddhanta has a very important position, or it has attained new dimensions and requirements. Generally, we think that Siddhanta and Prayoga are different and they never come to a proper marriage between them. And sometimes we think that most of the explanations in the Samhitas are stories. They have no practical value. But I think in the present context, especially while the Ayurvedic fraternity, everyone is forced to address a pandemic, I think in my personal experience, I'll be getting many calls from practitioners in the state and outside state, youngsters, seeking some explanation how we have to approach this particular condition. What is our way of thinking when a COVID patient is having this issue, that issue? So I think whatever is explained in the Siddhanta portions, whatever original concepts we have tried to document in our Samhitas, all those things are gaining new dimensions of understanding and explanations. And one important thing that we have to keep in our mind at this point is, along with the understanding what should be learned, 2 other points. Number 1, how it should be learned, and number 2, why it should be learned. These 2 things are also to be understood everywhere, in every siddhanta. So we have to learn and relearn, explain and re-explain, and make the stuff always anukalikam or abhinavam or contemporary. And for getting this goal properly achieved, I think we have to go to the authors, the acharyas, as close as possible. Never drag their ideas to our side and try to manipulate them in the way we wish to. That should not be the right way of doing things. So in this Brihat Saptaham, I have one session in the first Saptaham, I think, yes, Vegadharana in disease causation. Actually, it is coming under the Ashtanga Hridaya Saptaha. So from the text, I'll be looking into or exploring the fourth chapter of Sutrasthanam, that is the Roganulpadaniyam. So very important concepts. Roganulpadaniyam, the word itself is self-explanatory. It is something about the complete content of preventive medicine is included in that chapter, of which the Vegodhirana Dharanam is something which is much important, or which makes the major stuff of the chapter. So we will be going through the Dharaniya Vega, Adharaniya Vega, the problems with the Vegodhirana Dharanam, and maybe if the time permits, something related with other aspects of the Roganulpadaniyam. And I look forward each one of you to be there with this Brihat Saptaham in the sessions. And I wish you all the best, and I thank Team Pratigna once again for this beautiful program. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. So next we have Dr. Krishnan Nambudri. So again, I just want to tell there's a link in the WhatsApp chat, chat where you can join the WhatsApp chat in which all the details of this program will be given. If you have any doubts, please do wait until the teachers' introductions are over, and we will be taking some of the questions later on to help you out. So let me hand it over to Dr. Krishnan Nambudri. Just before that, let me a small introduction of Dr. K. Krishnan Nambudri. He was born in a family with Ayurvedic and Vedic tradition. He has learned Vedas, Ayurveda, and spiritual rituals in the traditional way from his father. He has successfully completed BAMS Ayurveda Acharya from Coimbatore Ayurveda College in Gurukula system. After his degree, he joined Ayurveda College Coimbatore as lecturer. Considering his untiring efforts and contributions to Ayurveda, Kerala Youth Guidance Movement has recognized him with the Bishak Bhushan Award. Rotary International RI District 3200 also recognized his social activities and thereby selected him as best social worker in the district in the year of 2006-2007. His presentation on Ayurveda was broadcast in Italian television, Rai Rome. A series of Ayurveda awareness program was broadcasted on Jeevan TV as 30 episodes. He is a visiting faculty and technical advisor of International Ayurveda Academy, Florence, Italy. So over to Krishnan Nambudri sir for his introduction. Over to you, sir.
Namaste. Very good evening to all respected teachers, my gurus, Vaidyas, and especially thank you, Dr. Shyam, for giving this opportunity. And it's a great honor to participate in Brihatrayi Saptaha. And my subject allotted is, of course, Ojas and Manovyadhis. And of course, we know there are many scientific concepts in Ayurveda which need detailed scrutiny to assess their extent of meaning and philosophical understanding, practical implications, logical explanations, and utility in the field of Ayurveda practice. And as my subject is Ojas, and Ojas is stages of all Sukshma and Sthula Sharira, and it is superior vital essence of dhatus, and of course it is Vaishvanara, it is omnipresent. This Ojas is omnipresent. Overall, Ojas is responsible for the defense mechanism of our body, and it's of course preventive aspect as well. And it is Sarva Badha Prashamanam. Ojas is Sababhatha Prasamanam, and it is as Pranayama Parambaram we heard, it is Ojastveva Param Belam. And it is when we get Ojakshina Avastha, what will be the signs and symptoms and practical implications, etc. in Manovaigalyas, Manomaya Kosha problems, and also Manokshobham and Ausutya Moha Arati, etc. conditions, especially Manorogas. So the role of Ojas in living body, especially human body, is very much discussed in Ayurvedic textbooks, but in Sutra Rupas. So that's the only challenge in that. But I will try my level best to enter into that subject and discuss and detail that subject. So thank you very much. And I'm looking forward for that session. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that introduction. Next, we have Dr. Srikanth. Dr. Srikanth is Dr. P. Srikanth Babu, currently Principal Professor and HOD, Department of Kaya Chikitsa at Dr. BRKR Government Ayurveda College, Hyderabad. Completed his BMS from SV University and MD Kaya Chikitsa from Mysore University. He has delivered more than 200 invited lectures on various topics on health and Ayurveda all over India and across the world. He is associated with ICMR NIN Hyderabad project on Amavata. He has authored a book on Ayurveda and trichology and also is co-author of 4 books. He is a recipient of International Ayurveda Excellence Award 2018 at Bangkok of Thailand by Ayurgenica. He has attended and delivered a talk in International Ayurveda Conference at Leiden in Netherlands. So over to Dr. Srikanth for his introduction. Over to you, sir. Yes.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Namaste, everybody. The wonderful gesture of blending 3 Samhitas in 3 weeks is not a small task. The idea, the basic idea conceived should be appreciated, and all the support should be extended because it is not a small task, it is a Herculean task. In this juncture, for conceiving this idea and bringing it forward, I congratulate Dr. P. Gauri Shankar Garu. He is one of my senior and I always respect him as my Guruji. Congratulations, Guruji, for your wonderful gesture of bringing this. And I hope this will launch its fullest expectation and it caters the required knowledge to all the participants. So I would like to offer my pranams to Dr. Sri Krishna Kandel, sir, and Dharmadhikari, sir, and Vasudeva Nambudri, sir, Ram Mohan Rao, Ram Manohar, sir. So many luminaries, legends from Ayurveda faculty, Ayurveda fraternity. So I wish, I offer my pranams to all of you. And of course, the topic, what I was offered is different in this Charaka Saptaha. So wherever the Saptahas related to Samhita comes, I try to intervene with the topic of Indriyasthana. So Indriyasthana is one of the most neglected sthana, what I believe. So most of the students, they read it only for the examination purpose. And then if easily, if you want to publish any data on Samhitas, you can look into Indriyasthana. It can be thoroughly published. So we are trying to create and show limelight on Indriyasthana since around 2 decades. And thanks to Dr. M.S. Baghel, sir, the late M.S. Baghel, sir, who is not among us, but his blessings are with us, and Dr. Kandel, sir, for believing in me and handing over me a major task of editing the total Indriyasthana of a new edition project of Charaka Samhita online edition, so which contributes for 10% of editorial work. So I thank you for all of your blessings and support, sir. So coming to the topic, this will be totally a offbeat presentation. So I will not be uttering any slokas and commentaries, and I will not be uttering any sort of Samhita verses at all. I'll just give you a thought-provoking process in understanding Indriyasthana. Likewise, I'll just give a sample as this is an introductory class. So Ayurveda is strongly believed that it is a life science, right? So in a science of life, why there should be a death description? Because Indriyasthana is understood like Aristalakshana. So there is no contrast there. When a science of life is described in 120 chapters, the focus is totally on 120 chapters towards the life alone. So Indriyasthana is not talking about the Marana. It is talking about the Ayu Pramana Pariksha Bhavas. If you look into the first chapter, they describe around 42 parameters to assess the Ayu Pramana Pariksha Bhava. So each one, if you deal properly, you can assess the lifespan of each individual by that particular segment, and altogether you can assess the total lifespan. Coming to a simple example from the first chapter, Varna Swariyam Indriyam, Varna and Swara. So I'll just quote a simple example, like a baby soon after delivered in the labor theater. We look for an Apgar score, right? Where the cry and color contribute for Apgar score. Varna, Swara. If they are not up to the mark, then your lifespan, the lifespan of the baby is calculated at low, and the emergency managements will be done to overcome the baby from the lacunas. So likewise, the title of the presentation, I have made it like Architecture of Indriyasthana. Why architecture? Architecture is choosing the location where to build, how to create ventilation, light, and entertainment and health into that house or environment. So in this area, I would like to focus upon the Indriyasthana and its illumination, where and how it is contributing for the clinical perspectives of Ayurveda. So after Nidana, before Chikitsa, Indriyasthana is located. So why before Chikitsa is, whenever you are planning Chikitsa, you should understand the span of the life. Otherwise, it creates a lot of other issues. So in such scenario, ignoring Indriyasthana will not give a proper attribution to any good physician, that if you are ignorant about Indriyasthana. So please do attend, or please do travel with me for a 60 minutes tailored, specially tailored for this particular session, 60 minutes journey into Indriyasthana. And I assure you, you will have some pebbles to store and pebbles to practice in your day-to-day life. Don't think that I'm just going to speak about theoretical parts. No, I'll be just giving you an overall idea how important Indriyasthana, by creating a very interesting examples and clinical scenarios to understand Indriyasthana in a better way. And I congratulate all the team members who are working for this noble cause. Hope we all joining together will make this a grand success. Thank you for providing me this opportunity and making me a part. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. And now we have Dr. Murali. Dr. K. Murali, son of renowned Ayurveda Acharya and Padma Bhushan Vaidya Bhushanam Sri Raghava Tirumapad, did his bachelor's degree from Vaidyaratnam Ayurveda College and master's from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum. Has recently retired from Tripunithura Ayurveda College as medical superintendent after 32 years of government service. He has also achieved a bachelor's degree in Sanskrit and diploma in rehabilitation, an awardee of Atreya Award for the best teacher in Ayurveda faculty by Government of Kerala in 2014. He has published many articles and done many talks in media. He has shown an exemplary service leading to COVID care center at Tripunithura Ayurveda Hospital, from where he has retired. So over to Dr. Murali. He has been a faculty of a lot of our programs. So with all due respect, sir, over to you, sir. Hello.
Dear organizers and dear aspirants to join the Brihat Saptaha, which is a very unique academic venture organized by Dr. Shyamohan and others. In this venture, actually, I am to take class on the Shamana Chikitsa, different varieties of Shamana Chikitsa. And actually, I am of the opinion that Shamana is superior than Shodhana. Always you learn in different Panchakarma courses that Shodhana is great, something superior than Shamana Chikitsa. But in fact, Shamana Chikitsa is the primary approach to every disease. And I feel that Shamana is more important than Shodhana Chikitsa. I will argue it further in my class. If you can, we can even have a debate on that. So that is my portion in Ashtanga Hridaya Saptaha. And in Shushruta Samhita portion, I am to deal with the different pharmacodynamic principles, which is dealt in detail in the particular chapter of Shushruta Samhita. Actually, how the drug acts in the body also have to be explained to be a science. Just giving a medicine and ensure the cure is not enough for the explanation of science. We have to interpret how the drug acts. That is our Dravyaguna theory, Dravyaguna Siddhanta, and that is very well narrated in Susruta, better than any of the Samhitas. And actually, the Rasa Vaisheshika Sutra, which is a book, a treatise on in Sutra style on the Rasa Guna, Virya, Vipaka, etc. It is actually based on the Susruta's concept, and I wish you to discuss with you all these principles in the coming days. I all invite you to the program. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you. Next, we have Dr. Anand. So before I hand it over to him, just I want to repeat, Dr. Rahul is posting a link to a WhatsApp chat in the chat box. You can click on the link and join a WhatsApp group where we'll put all the details about this program. If you have any doubts, it will be clear there. If you have any doubt to ask, you can wait for some more time and you can post in the chat afterwards when we open the chat for you, and we will try to answer some of the questions. So next, we have Dr. PKV Anand, currently working as Associate Professor, Department of Panchakarma at Vaidyaratnam Ayurveda College, Ullur. Completed his BMS from Coimbatore Ayurveda College and MD from Thiruvananthapuram Government Ayurveda College. 20 years of teaching experience, has translated few books to Malayalam, naming Ashtanga Hridaya, Sutrasthana, Samprapti Lakshana, Sambandham, Jivananandam, Kalyana, Karagam. Very sorry about that, reading that. Over to you, Anand sir. It is in English. I am not able to read in Malayalam. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Namaste all. You're audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You are, sir.
Okay, namaste all who are listening. Thank you, Shyam Mohan, for the introduction. I'm supposed to join Pradijna this Brihat Saptaha with a topic on Sadaturas. That comes in the last session, Siddhisthana of Charaka Samhita. So the topic is of particular interest because, see, it's a very small area which is dealt, but the most interesting fact about it is it appears to be the one of the foundation or the basic thing about the need of panchakarmas in the current society. It talks about how the Vegarodha is affecting and why in every treatment you need to go for too much Suddhi, especially those who are having a particular lifestyles. So this is going to be a talk on the various lifestyles and their possible implications in the health and how we can correct it with the appropriate usage of panchakarmas and regain the health. Probably these sadaturas, they just four kind of lifestyles are mentioned, but maybe you can say that it is upalakshana or even lakshana itself. Whichever way you take, you can have the essence of these 4 or 5 lifestyles and apply in the current society, which all professions we do, and what will be the exact complications generated by this lifestyle, and how panchakarma becomes one of the major important therapeutic measure to correct diseases made by such wrong lifestyle. So this is the thing which I will be dealing for 1 hour in the last day of the whole Brihat Saptaha. I want all of you to join me for the session, and I think I will try to make the whole speech relevant to the contemporary lifestyle and practices. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
That's
Thank
all,
you.
Dr. Syamohan.
Yes, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for that. Next, we have Dr. Sunita. So she is joining us from Kottakkal. Let me give you a small introduction of Dr. Sunita PV. She is currently working as an assistant professor, Department of Shalya Tantra at VPSV Kottakkal Ayurveda College. She has completed as UG and from Ayurveda College, Tripunithara in 1991, PG from Government Ayurveda College, Trivandrum in 2010. She has started her career as tutor in the year 1999. She worked in various departments like Shalakya Tantra, Agata Tantra, Rajana Sharira, etc. And right now, let me call upon Dr. Sunita for her introduction. Over to you, madam. Hello, please unmute, madam.
Unmute.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Over to you.
Namaste to all. The one who present here, namaste to all. First of all, I express my sincere thanks to the organizers of this group for giving me this opportunity. Thank you. Thank you for, and also congrats. Congratulations to you people for taking this much burden. This is a large subtopic. So thank you. And also congrats for you. Okay. So the topic given for me is the food properties and usages according to the Sushruta Samhita. That is the topic given for me. You can see while going through Ashtanga Hridaya, you can see that Dravyadi Vijnaniya, Dravadravyaadi Vijnaniya, and Annarakshaadhyaya and Annapana Vidhi. All these 4 chapters are for explaining this topic. But in Sushruta Samhita, all these 3 or 4 topics or subjects confined into one topic, that is Annapana Vidhi, Sushruta Samhita, Sutrasthanam, 46th chapter. So while going through that, we can see that he explained the classification of the dravyas, that is Shogadhanya, Shimbidhanya, Mamsavarga, and also different types of preparation, how to make the food, Yusha, Veshavara, and even Mamsarasa, and how to prepare Mamsa. Like in the modern era, likewise, they prepare with the ghee and spices. While going through, we get a lot of knowledge about the Annapana Vidhi and how to make food. Even every nook and corner, he explained, like how the kitchen should be, what about paricharakas, and also how to protect or how to keep the food from germs and flies, and also even how to serve the food, in which pot we have to take, even example ghee in iron pot, and also water in silver pot, like in which pot we have to serve the food, and when we have to drink water, before, after, and in mid, what are all the properties or what it causes to our body. All this explained. And after explaining all these things, he explained the aswasthya produced by the food, that is ajirna, and its treatment. All this explained in this chapter. But on going through the Sushruta Samhita, we can see that Annadravya can be used as Chigilsa Dravya or used in the Pathya. In every chapter, we can see different opinions. For example, if we know the properties of these food items, we can use this for the treatment purpose also. For example, in Bhagna Chikilsa, we can see Asti Samhara Churnam. It is very common preparation. While going through the ingredients, we can see that it contains nothing but ghee, milk, godhuma, and plus Laksha Churna and Arjuna Churna. Anyway, if we go through the properties of the Godhuma, we can see that it is Asti Santhanakrit. And Tina means Priyangu. It is a millet. But if we use it in a little bit, we can use as a food in the case of Asti Tadukshaya Vigaras, because it is Asti Santhanakrit, and also it contains lot of calcium. So we can use it as a food for osteoporotic or osteopenic or fracture cases. Likewise, if we go through the Sushruta Samhita, we can see a lot of preparations and a lot of usages of food items. So I try to, and one more thing, if the one who go thoroughly through these subjects, he can open a restaurant with the principles of Ayurvedic, the food served with the principles, making with the principles of Ayurveda, like halwa, jalebi means jaggery, veshavara, all this explained in this chapter or in our Samhita. So anyway, I try to give justice to my topic and explain this. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you once more.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, madam, for the introduction. Thank you. Now we have Dr. Arhant Kumar, sir. Before I hand it over to him, again, just want to repeat, there's a link to a WhatsApp chat group, which you can click and join, where all the details of this program will be posted. And if you have any doubts, please do wait a little bit more, and you can ask in the chat after the teachers are finished their introductions. So Dr. Arhant Kumar A, Associate Professor, PG, Department of Ayurveda Samhita and Siddhanta, SDM College of Ayurveda, Udupi, has done his BMS from KVG Ayurveda Medical College, Sullia, MD in Ayurveda Samhita and Siddhanta from Government Ayurveda Medical College, Mysore, MSCP from Manasa Educational Trust, Shimoga, and Principles of Clinical Pharmacology from JSS College of Pharmacy, Mysore. He has a teaching experience of more than 6 years. He is working at SDM College Udupi since 5 years and 6 months. He had published 17 books, given 25 guest lectures, published 11 indexed and PubMed articles and 5 community articles, attended several national and state seminars, contributed in 7 community services, given TV shows and have given faculty development trainings. He has also contributed in funded a zero budget research project also. So over to Dr. Arhant Kumar, sir. Welcome to Pradigna, sir.
Namaste. Namaste, Dr. Shyam Mohan. I think I'm audible. Okay. So first of all, at the outset, let me thank Dr. Shyam Mohan for inviting me for such a great session and workshop. And also, I pay respect to all luminaries, stalwarts of Ayurveda who are present in this particular course. So it is said in Sushruta Samhita, Prabhashaniyam Adhyayadhat, Yata Karaschandana Bharavahi, Bharasya Veta Natuchandanasya, Evam Hi Shastrani Bahunyaditya, Charteshu Muda Karavadvahanti. We have many books, many treatises in our library, personal library or college library, whatever it may be. But if we don't read it, don't understand it, then it becomes a burden for us, just similar to a donkey which is carrying a load of sandalwood without knowing the importance or without knowing its fragrance. So the Sushruta, in case of Sushruta Samhita also, it is the same case, because in our UG curriculum or the PG curriculum, we get hardly a chance to read the Sushruta Samhita comprehensively. There is less scope. So in this course, there are a large scope to know about Sushruta Samhita, not only in Sushruta Samhita, other 2 Samhitas also comprehensively. Dr. Shyam Mohan has been assigned me 2 sessions. I'm very happy for that. The first session is about hallmarks of Sushruta Samhita, where I'll be dealing with the objectives of Sushruta Samhita, then the important features of Sushruta Samhita, unique contributions of Sushruta Samhita, how to read Sushruta Samhita. In total, I want to say that in the first session, I'll be telling about Sushruta Samhita comprehensively. And in the very next session, so I'll be handling with the salient features of Nibandha Sangraha, Dallana's commentary on Sushruta Samhita. Once again, this Dallana commentary is highly neglected literature in our community. So I want you to know the important contributions, important concepts of Dallana, which is very essential to understand Sushruta Samhita. So in total, I think you have opted a right course to know all the Samhitas finally, I say that Ubhaya Jnana is very, very important. Two jnanas are very essential. First one is the Shastra Jnana, second is Karma Jnana. So here we are getting both Shastra Jnana and Karma Jnana. Hope we can have more discussions in our regular sessions. So let us learn Sushruta Samhita together. With this, I thank once again for the organizers for giving me such a great opportunity to present before all aspirants of Brihat. Thank you.
Thank you, Anand sir. So next we have Dr. Saurabh. So Dr. Saurabha S. Kokatnoor, Associate Professor, Department of PG and PhD Studies in Samhita and Siddhanta, Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli, founder Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad at national level intellectual meet, founder Tadvidya Sambhasha Parishad online, AIAPGET coaching unit, Chief Consultant Ayurveda Super Specialty Clinic, unit of City Clinic, Hubli, BMS from Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli, and did his MD at Ayurveda Mahavidyalaya, Hubli. Completed MD in Basic Principles of Ayurveda, presently pursuing PhD from RGUHS, Bangalore. So in 2016, working as Assistant Professor in the Department of Postgraduate Studies in Basic Principles of Ayurveda and teaching UG scholars and guiding more than 6 PG studies, presented more than 23 scientific papers to international, national peer journals, review journals, organizing secretary Tadvidya Sambhasha and international level in intellectual meet for consecutive 3 years, awardee of Best Outgoing Student Award in Secondary, Pre-University and BMS and MD Studies, Ayurveda Visharada Award winner for final year BMS, Best Teacher of Ayurveda Award by Ayurveda Teachers Association 2017, written books on Ayurveda Psychiatry for Beginners, translated Ayurveda Padartha Vijnana from Marathi to Kannada. Over to Saurav sir. Welcome sir to Pradigna. Sir, you're, please unmute sir. Hello. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Over to you.
Adyatanam Suvarnashramojitam Deshakalaavasthojitam Nitya Naimittika Kamya Karma Yatha Shakti Yatha Jnapti Yatha Vaibhavam Karishye Madadnyakaribhihi Vidya Sambandhibihi Deha Sambandhivishcha Vadiyaihi Ashesha Janaihi Tvat Sarva Kartratva Karayatratva Dyanusandhana Purvakam Karayishyeja. To give a small introduction about the topic which I have been allotted with, it is Sushruta's view on dosha, including Rakta. Raktam Jiva iti sthitihi. It is said by the Granthakaras that Rakta is most important component of every living creature. If Rakta is lost, Jiva is lost. So dosha dhatu malamulam hi sadadehasya is also said. They are the pillars. And why not the Rakta is included by two Acharyas or Sushruta also. Thinking in this way, many times we think that Rakta is definitely a dosha. Whether Sushruta really opines so or not, and he says Rakta is just a dhatu, but it acts like dosha but not actually. And it is everything doing its function and creating diseases or converting the deceased into a healthy individual with the help of doshas or not. With these simple concepts of Sushruta Samhita particularly, I'll be trying to take you to the journey from the Sushruta Samhita. Basically, all these concepts related to dosha are explained in Sushruta Sutrasthana chapter 1, chapter 15 and chapter 21. So with these three chapters being the helping tools, we will try to know whether the doshas are 3 or 4. If Rakta is dosha, why it is? If not, so why? And all, including all these concepts, we'll try to explore the coded language of Granthakaras. And I'm very pleased to know that I'm the youngest faculty among the 17 selected by this Pratigna. I'll take oath. The name of this organization itself is Pratigna, which is taking a oath. So we all should take oath that we will try to give our fullest possible time and dedication to know what are the core concepts of Ayurveda by both faculties as well as the audience. only then the understanding of concepts will be clear. And I am pleased and blessed to have Dr. Dharmadhikari sir, Dharmadhikari sir, because of whom I am able to talk something about Ayurveda along with my other PG faculty, PG teachers. And I'm very, very thankful to Dharmadhikari sir for taking me from the depth to Urdhvagami, and I'm really budding comparatively well among my age group. So this is all because of his blessings. Let me cover the concept given to me with his blessing and with his guidance, and he'll be always giving extended support to know about the concepts. Thank you, Dr. Shyam Mohan, Dr. Rahul, Dr. Mulli sir, and Prasad sir, who are backbone of me. And Dr. Arhant is definitely there, who is senior to me, and he's staying in Karnataka. So with all clubbed information, let us try to know the concepts of various scattered information from 3 Samhitas, and let us know the best possible from all these 3. Thank you. Thank you, Anand.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have actually got a few more teachers, but unfortunately they are not able to join today. So we have Dr. Srinivas Acharya sir, we have Rishikesh Mehatre sir, and of course we have Kiradamurthy sir, who's actually having the retirement function today, right now as we speak, and that is why he is not able to join us today. So right now for the teachers, we have already finished all the teachers, so we will be giving some time for the question and answers now. Also, I just want to tell everyone how this this course was developed. So it was, of course, that Gauri Shankar sir played an important role in this, and he was, we had plans that there should be some program which should be helpful for students. So and that is how this whole program was initiated. And as you can see on the screen, we have lots and lots of experts in this field, and I'm very sure this will be a wonderful session even for us, because we are also learning. So I just want to give you all the details about the programs. Some of the all these things you will be able to find in the brochures. You can go there and read and get to know all the topics which will be taken. We'll be having 7 days of Ashtanga Hridaya, 7 days of Sushruta Samhita, and 7 days of Charaka Samhita. Each will be 1 day, 1 topic. It will be like that. So I hope it is understood. So this will be Sushruta Samhita, and this will be the Charaka Samhita. So these are the programs or the topics that will be dealt with in our programs. Now we will be taking some questions. If you want to ask, you may put it in the chat box, and we can read some of the questions and try to answer them. If you have any doubts, you can put it there. Any questions, Dr. Rahul?
No questions.
Okay. So I'll just show you this brochure once again, so that it'll be clear for everyone. It is a 21 days program, 42 hours, including the the session with question and answer or discussion. There are 17 faculties. Access to recordings will be provided. The absolute platform to secure your base in Ayurveda. It is basically for the basics itself, the foundation. It is useful for mainly the students of Ayurveda who want to learn, who has last year was a bit confusing for the Ayurvedic fraternity, because we all had to learn in a new way, right, in front of the laptop instead of in front of teachers. So this is something which might help the students to gain more knowledge about, or fix the foundation of Ayurveda. Now so all this will be there. Also, we will be having a WhatsApp group where it will be easier for the students and the participants and the teacher to have some conversation. If they have any doubt, they can put it there, and the teachers will be able to help them with those doubts. So we'll be forming a WhatsApp group exclusively for the participants, and carrying it forward. The timing of the programs will be 6 to 8 p.m. in the evenings. We'll be starting on the 7th, and we will be completing by 27th or 28th. So I hope it is clear. If you have any doubts, you can put it in the chat box, and we'll try to answer them.
Those who are still not joined the group, you please click the link given in the chat box and join the WhatsApp group. If you want to join this course, it is given in the chat box. So
yeah, Dr. Rahul is posting a link to WhatsApp groups where we will be posting all the details about this program, like the brochures, and this video also we'll be posting. In fact, in you know, if at all you want to go back and listen to what the teachers have said, and you know, then make a decision, you can please forward all these details to your friends who are interested, especially students, which you know, I'm very sure will benefit them. So this is how you can.
Sir,
Yeah.
please enable the chat, sir. I think
it is enabled, I believe. It is enabled.
Okay.
So this is how you can visit us at pradigna.com. You can reach us at pradigna@gmail.com. Excuse me. I hope it is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So these are the numbers you have to contact if at all you have any doubts. We have Dr. Anjana Unnikrishnan and Dr. Rahul J will be taking care of all your queries. Yeah, just want to leave you with a simple thought that is, he that loves reading has everything within his reach. So I believe we have given you a pretty good picture about the program, and you can make an informed decision now. So shall we end?
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So as we say, keep learning, keep growing. Okay. Thank you all. Thank you all for coming in today. Thank you.
Rahul, is there anything left?
Nothing, sir. That's fine.